and welcome to the barn, live from the barn studio. You got the Mox here, and I'm joined with some special guests in the house. Fellas, welcome to the barn. We got Cody, Doug, and Kyle from Die Cut Dudes. Fellas, welcome.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's
What's
good to be here.
going on?
We are live.
You're live.
No, we're not live this time yet.
We're used to being live on our page.
Yeah. And that's where everybody that's listening to this and enjoys this conversation can find you guys, right? You're on the Facebook. You do a lot of Facebook Lives. Die Cut Dudes with the what's that called?
Underscore.
So I will say this is bad branding. For our Facebook page, there's no underscore. It's just Die Cut Dudes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, and that was Facebook's fault, not ours. So
We talked about it before we came on air. What drew me to you guys is the logo. It's the Dream Team logo. So this is the Dream. We got the Dream Team in the house tonight.
you got the Dream Team,
right.
and that is the birth child of Kyle over there, man.
Yeah.
The big time 90s kid.
Yeah.
Born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. Huge Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls Dream Team fan. And, you know, when we started talking about this, I'm like, our logo's got to be based on the 92 Dream Team. That is the team, the elite team, the best team ever.
Best team ever. I agree here.
Man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. There's supposed to be some claps there, but yeah, I totally agree. And
I heard it.
and I do love that logo. You guys have been doing this a while, 3-4 years, right?
Yeah, this will be our 4th year.
Coming up on 4 years next month.
Yeah.
And what do you enjoy about it? Because it's a lot of work, right?
It's a lot of work.
The brotherhood.
Yeah, the time hanging out together for sure. You know, coming up with new ideas, new games, stuff to entertain ourselves, really.
That's really how the page started. That was just wanting to hang out together, gave us an excuse to, and to entertain ourselves.
You know, we started right before COVID and then right into COVID. And so that's kind of what it became about. Like, what can we do since we're so bored, you know?
And you guys do it weekly?
Yeah, we do it every Tuesday night, typically every Tuesday night at 6 p.m.
Yep.
You know, we're all adults and have jobs and responsibilities.
Sure.
So sometimes we get hosed on that, but we try to be diligent about every Tuesday night.
Sure. And we were talking off air, we just recently kind of came across you guys, and I think maybe you guys recently came across us, and we're like, they look like us. And they talk about stuff that we like, because I love the 90s. I'm a nostalgia guy. That's why I thought you guys would enjoy the barn, because there's so many
It's awesome.
old wrestling things in here and old sports things. And I was like, well, these guys look like us and seem to be having fun. So we wanted to bring you on and talk with you a little bit. So we do appreciate you being here.
We appreciate you guys having us, man.
Yeah. I mean,
I do have a little nitpick to pick.
Okay.
Walking around here, no Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah.
No Hulk Hogan.
I was Ultimate Warrior when I was young.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Loved Ultimate Warrior.
Roddy Piper over here. So
Yeah.
you don't need
It's
any
been
Hogan
fun,
in
guys.
here.
Peace out. I guess you're walking home, Kyle.
Yeah, you gonna bark all day, little doggy. You gonna bite.
Hulk Hogan, greatest wrestler of all time.
Best entertainer of all time.
Ric Flair, the greatest wrestler of all time.
I would say under Hulk Hogan, the entertainment. Gotta go Shawn Michaels.
Really?
For greatest wrestler?
I would
Really?
say so. I would say Shawn Michaels.
See, if we're going greatest wrestler, I'm going Bret Hart.
That was a good one too. I mean, it's endless. It's endless.
Well, it is. I mean, you
You
throw
can ask me
in
tomorrow, and it can be a different guy.
Yeah.
You throw in The Rock. You throw in Stone
Stone Cold,
Cold.
yeah.
You throw in all the newer guys that are making their name or have made their name. I mean, come on. The Rock made his appearance again back on wrestling. Like, that place went absolutely nuts.
Maybe that's the better question, is the best era of wrestling.
Attitude.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Attitude,
Really?
90s,
Attitude.
97, 98, 99.
You couldn't miss it. I mean, you just couldn't. You had. I remember I had the TV that you could, finagle into getting in the
Pay-per-views.
pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And I had to, because if I went to school the next day not knowing what happened, I mean, I don't mean it bad, but you're a loser.
Yeah.
You can't conversate. You're just sitting in the back, and
Well, the girls didn't think that. The girls weren't.
right, yeah.
Did you see what happened last night? With your buddies, though. I get it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you got to stay on top of things with your buddies. You don't want to catch some ball busting on that end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely my passion is wrestling.
Yeah.
So I could just sit here and we just talk wrestling all day long. I'd be thrilled.
Yeah. And you have a Slammer shirt on. Slammer was actually a guest.
Yes.
And you were here then. I think I was busy that night. I wasn't here. So this is your second time being in the barn.
This will be my second time. special guest. I accompanied. I guess I could say I was his manager for the night.
Yeah.
To come on here to be a guest.
Yeah, he's super cool guy.
He's a good guy.
We enjoyed that for sure. Where's this passion at podcasting? Where did that come from?
So I don't know if Kyle knew I was going to talk about this, but rewind about 20 some odd years.
Where this is going.
And I had a huge VHS recorder, one of the late 90s, 90-pound VHS recorders
Back
on
to
your
the
shoulder.
Future up on your shoulder type.
Oh, yeah.
And so we used to goof around in his basement, and we'd make our own show, and it was a stupid name. It was called Ass Class. and we would play different characters and just entertain ourselves. And honestly, I think, and now this is probably not this much, but if we had stuck with it when YouTube come around, I think we would have made it small time, right? Because we were entertaining.
This was far before YouTube.
Yeah. And so anyways, it was kind of birthed there, right? Like we enjoyed making tapes and laughing at ourselves. And then, fast forward, we're 40, we started in our late 30s, I guess. And we're looking for something to do. And I'm like, man, remember we used to do that? Let's just goof off and make some videos. And we were making videos for YouTube, and it was no good. Like but we were talking about what we enjoy, and so we moved over to Facebook, and Facebook's easier to grow, and so that's that's just kind of how it evolved. And I can't imagine stopping at this point. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, we have to do this. Like like
It's what we do.
it's what
is.
you do for sure.
That makes me feel good to hear that.
Yeah, that's not to say I don't have my moments.
Right.
We all do. We all do.
We all have our moments.
Well, yeah.
I, suffer with a little bit of depression at times, that kind of thing, So you get to where, the motivation and all that. Or, God forbid, you spend hours working on a video or something and it gets one like or nothing, and you're like, what am I even doing? What am I doing here?
Yeah.
But you get over that.
That was your big issue at first when we started doing videos. Like we was having nobody watch, nobody liked, nobody commented.
Yeah.
And you were like, at the end of the night, well, that was a good time. Nobody was here to watch us. I'm like, we got to hang out.
Yeah.
We got to have fun.
kidding.
This is what made us start doing this.
And I'm like, yeah. I've known you for 30 years anyway. So.
Moving on from that. Like, you're not important at this point.
Right.
You do, and I've struggled with that before too. And even like comparing myself or our numbers to somebody else, you can get caught up in that game so much. But, I feel like, it's benefited me in my life to just kind of be like a fullback, right? Where I'm just like head down, keep moving forward, keep putting out stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Some stuff they get a bunch of likes and listens and follows and all this. And sometimes we don't. And I just move on to try to at least remind myself. And it does take a reminder.
Oh, yeah.
Because it can get frustrating sometimes where you put a whole lot of, especially you do a lot of the editing maybe.
Yeah.
You put a lot of time into that, and that's time away from your family or from your
Right.
job or whatever. It's like, and it didn't really, the reward or the payoff wasn't
Right.
there. But I think also too, there's some, learning that happens with that. You get better at it. You're getting more practice. And that's been my experience anyway.
For sure. No, I 100% agree with that. Yeah. At the end of the day, if you just take away what you learned from the editing or what you learned from not getting a like or whatever, that's still valuable information. Sometimes more valuable than getting 1,000 likes or whatever.
Yeah.
Because now I know what will fail, right? So
Yeah.
don't waste your time on that,
I think I know the answer to this question, but have you ever put out a piece of work that you were really proud of and you really thought was going to do well and then it didn't?
I would say, definitely yes. Trying to think of something specifically. Some of our older YouTube videos for sure. Some of the stuff where we were just goofing around, but I thought, man, this is gold. Like we're dying laughing. Well, stuff that's funny to you doesn't mean it's gonna be funny to somebody else.
All right.
Yeah.
And there's definitely been those moments where it's like, man, this is gonna be great. This is it. This is gonna get us there, and nothing. Crickets.
One of the things that's, for me, one of the most rewarding things about what we do is when you do have that person that tunes in for the second time. And then the 10th time, right? Where they're really following what you do.
Yeah.
That feels so good. Mm-hmm. And to me, and tell me if it's the same way for you guys, that's one of the most rewarding things.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Doug was, honestly, even though I work with him, he was one of them. He was there religiously every week, And we've got Tony from California.
We got people from both sides of the coast that watch us every week.
Every week, unless something happens, they're not there.
Yeah.
And it is one of the greatest things. You're like, and when you step back and think about it, you're like, oh, this dude's in California, this dude's in Connecticut, and they don't want to miss it. So
Yeah, I mean, we went on vacation, me and the wife, and the very first episode that I ever tuned into these guys, we went to Branson, and we were on vacation that night. We just did pizza and sitting around, you know, the place that we rented and watching it, and, you know, I tuned into it, and Kyle goes, you know, hey, let us know where you're all from, blah, blah, blah. And I said, hey, I'm from Branson right now, blah, blah, blah. So my name on the show is Doug from Branson. It stuck.
Okay.
It's just, yeah, just,
And like,
I was wondering about that because I was watching some of your stuff. I'm like,
yeah. And I thought about changing it, but it's like, no, that's kind of the branded name for me right
he
now
rolled
on
with
the
it,
show.
had his wife make a shirt, Doug from Branson.
Yeah.
You know, that's how this stuff gets born and ends up,
Right.
you know, for sure, yeah.
what do you see in the future? What do you guys want to do with this?
That's a good question.
That's yeah.
I know you got big goals for this year coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I have personal goals that I've made, not that I've necessarily shared. Going back to when you do something or talk about something and it doesn't pan out, I've become more gun shy about being like, this is what I'm going to do this year, because I'm like, if I fail, then I feel silly. But I'm all in on this year. I'm growing our YouTube, growing our Facebook. If I could be honest, I have a number in my head where I want both of those to be, and I feel like I'm going to do it. Like nothing's going to stop me from getting there. Having done this 4 years now, I feel like we know the recipe to get there, and now putting in the effort, which, if I'm being honest, I didn't put in any effort in 2023. I mean, for real, I was on autopilot for a lot of it. I felt burnout with it. I felt a lot of those like, what am I doing? And so that's 180. I'm all in this year. So
I wish I had my sound effects working. With hit one of those.
Giving the applause.
It was kind of funny.
probably the wah-wah.
It was kind of funny. I clicked on you guys when I saw the logo. It drew me in. The Dream Team, and just saw your video, and I was like, where are these guys from? Well, then I saw a Will Compton jersey behind you guys. I'm like, well, they're either big Barstool fans or they're local to this area. I'm like, where are you guys from? Because we have a network here. We have 10 different podcasts. Most of them are local. And so I feel like we're pretty in tune with what's going on, and I just don't know how we missed you guys, but I'm glad you guys are here now, and I'm glad we're doing this.
Oh,
Most definitely.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. Like, I didn't know you guys until I came over with Slammer at the time, so I kind of felt out of the loop. You feel like you know everybody local. Yeah. Anything on the scene you kind of at least heard of. And I come over here, and then I took some pictures and videos, showed Cody the next time I went over that next Tuesday for the show. I'm like, these guys are doing exactly what we want, but 10 times better. And I don't know about that, but I'm like, this is what we envisioned,
right?
But we're just not there.
Yeah, and we talked off air again that we mentioned Barstool and Will Compton. What they're doing, busting with the boys, is awesome.
Oh yeah,
we're just trying to be, because people will say, well, you want to be the next Joe Rogan. Like, no, I mean, I want his money.
Yeah,
like, yeah, that'd be nice. The money, the fame, the connections.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
We just want to have fun, do some creative things, and locally, rip off Barstool as much as we can. But that's kind of, my buddy Dale Styler. You guys know Dale?
I
Dale
know
knows
that
everybody.
name. Yeah, I know that name.
He calls it the barn stool.
The barn stool.
Which is hilarious, right? But that was sort of the vision early on, is like, love what those guys do and everything about Barstool. So that's sort of where the idea came from. And then, supporting some of the local businesses is really important to us. You mentioned mental health. Mental health is really important to us. And one of our main sponsors is BetterHelp, betterhelp.com/the barn, by the way.
Little plug.
So, yeah, just, having something to do. And guys like us at 40 years old, finding something creative to keep the energy going, because it can be easy just to kind of sit in the recliner and watch the game and not do much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely.
Most of us are in our careers for a long time now. You're on autopilot, and it is easy just to kick back and be bored. And I will say that the cool thing about what we've done with our show is it being nostalgia and 90s and 80s, and we're grown-ups now. We can afford things. So we started doing this show. It's like, wait, I'm going to go out and buy these Penny Hardaway rookies that I used to have, and I'm going to buy these toys that I always wanted to collect. And this show sparked that for us. We started just like, oh yeah, we can collect what we want now. Like it's okay to be 40 in your 40s and collect stuff from when you were a kid.
Right.
It's that nostalgia. Everybody loves nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
And then when you get that certain age when you can afford to go back and buy your stuff from a kid, it hits you deep. You're like, oh, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just our last Christmas episode that we had, went and bought all those Ninja Turtle figures. Like,
Yeah.
growing up with the Ninja Turtles, it's awesome. Loved them. I absolutely loved them. They redid the old arcade game and made it so much more better graphic wise, and it kind of a little easier though too. Sit down and play that, me and you did, and
Yeah.
just
Yep.
living those nostalgicness of life, getting to buy those things that we couldn't get when we were younger that we absolutely loved and wanted to have so bad, makes it that much better now.
And sharing it with your kids and stuff. Like, my daughter's, what'd you get this time, Dad? I'm like, oh, I'm be showing this off on the show. And she's always excited, so.
Yeah, and my daughters are heavily involved with what we do here, and that's been a lot of fun of it too, sharing that with them, and I think it's important for them to see Dad be passionate about something, creative, having people in and making friendships and doing some business things. I think it's important for kids to see that, for our kids to see that.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So speaking of that, I seen your eggnog video the other day.
Oh yeah.
I was very disappointed she didn't like eggnog.
No, so she does. She's such a sweet girl because she'll say she likes it. She's like, "Yeah, that was good." And she's like throwing up over here.
That's awesome.
But I
like Kyle and his pickle.
maybe that's a bit of nostalgia too. I can drink about one glass of eggnog a year.
I could chug one of them whole.
Oh, really?
I'm in the same boat. I love eggnog during this
hate it.
year.
It's
Like,
disgusting.
I wish they would make it more throughout the year just to have it. But
No, you get Christmas. That's it.
and that's the bummer part about it because eggnog is so good.
That's all you need.
But I think that's why it becomes it's sort of like the McRib. Are you guys McRib guys?
yeah,
Of course, who isn't?
yeah, for sure.
It's like that one. It's like the exclusivity of you only get it at that time.
When those came back out this year,
Yes.
we had to eat some on our show. We had to
Yes, it did.
get that nostalgia. I don't think we've had McRibs. I know I haven't had one like 10 plus years.
I get them every year.
And we all,
It had been a few years for me.
I'm just kind of like the double cheeseburger, McChicken kind of guy.
Yeah.
The 72 nuggets.
Oh,
So I know you to be a wrestling guy. What about you guys? What are your true passions? When we're talking about nostalgia, what are some of the things that you're truly passionate about?
For me, it's two things. It's 90s basketball and 80s and 90s toys.
Okay.
Ninja Turtles, Transformers, Voltron, those kind of things.
Yeah.
I guess when I try to gauge that question, because I've had it before, I think about, okay, when I see it, what makes me the most excited? And when I see any of those things, there it is. Especially 90s basketball, man, all day long.
Yeah.
Because it hit a time in my life. Growing up, we were pretty poor, didn't have a lot of family stuff going on, but 90s basketball and my buddy Kyle, those were like the two best things of the 90s for me, just being real. So those are things that, that just make me happy.
and that's how we became best friends in middle school because of basketball cards.
Yeah.
He's trading me Jordans. I'm trading him his Penny Hardaways. And that's kind of where that connection started.
I didn't know better at the time. Okay, so
Right? No kidding.
I know you guys have had this feeling too, but I kick myself for things that I traded away, gave away, sold.
Oh, yeah.
And the value that they would have now. And not only even that, like there's like a Simpsons collection up there over the door. I had so many of those little Simpsons figures, the Burger King, I think were given away.
Yeah.
Like hundreds of them.
Yeah.
I would love to have them in here now
yeah.
because it's
Oh,
part
yeah.
of my childhood and what I loved growing up. But baseball cards, basketball
Right.
cards, I had
Yep.
a ton of Jordans and Ewings and Shaqs and
oh yeah.
The good thing, like you just mentioned, like the Happy Meal toys.
Yeah.
Everybody had those as a kid.
Yeah, we did.
You see those certain ones, you're like, my God, I remember having that.
Yeah.
It triggers your memory. And again, it goes back to that nostalgia feel. You get that good warm feeling inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
And you can see the Iron Sheik here, those old rubber ones.
Oh, yes. The ones that you're not supposed to play with now because they're toxic.
Oh, is that right?
No.
I didn't know that.
That's a false.
It's a false.
Yeah, he just recently got into the rub, like that style. You know more about him than I do, but
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, the figurines.
Yeah, since nostalgia is kind of the cool thing now.
Yeah.
The wrestling companies, WWE and AEW are re-releasing action figures just like those from the 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know some of those are pretty
Yes.
worth a lot.
Yeah.
Like, is it the Roddy Piper one that's,
No, there's like certain Hogans, certain Andres.
and it's a lot of it's about the condition too, right?
Yeah. I mean, out of the 90% of them are probably out of the box, but they're still worth hundreds.
Oh wow.
And when they're in the box, they're insane. Like the last few series was only available in Canada.
Holy cow.
That tells you how rare those would even be
No kidding.
coming south.
So can we talk about that? Because I am an out of the box guy, and I know it loses its value.
Oh, man.
Is there? Are there others like me? Because I see a lot of people that keep them in the box, and I understand the value of it. I like it out.
So
Is this
I don't
a
want to
thing?
dominate, but like he and I think are opposite on this.
Yeah.
So he will just open up a toy, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Why would you do that?"
Well, I'll buy 2 of them.
Okay.
One to open, one to keep in the
I'm
box.
like, you could keep them both in the box, though.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Then you're doubled the money.
I would rather like take a stupid Funko Pop, right? I would rather buy the Funko Pop and go buy a stupid $10 hard plastic case, put it in the hard plastic case, and display it that way, than take it out of there and display it as itself. It's going to look better by itself, but to me, it looks better in that box with the nice case.
And I disagree.
It's all preference. It's all preference. That's
Right.
part of collecting.
But that's what
Right.
I was wondering if I'm the weird one, or if
No.
there's other, if this is like a thing.
Well, growing up,
collection
our whole
world.
childhood, they told us,
Oh, yeah.
keep it in the box. Keep it in the box.
Yep.
It'll be worth thousands when you get older.
Yeah.
But now, as adults, it's almost a whole new phenomenon of people opening up action figures,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
displaying them, posing them. There's action figure photography pages.
Yeah.
It's a whole
Crazy.
thing on its own. Other than it's almost overtaken keeping them in the box. Actually,
Now, I will say that's the other thing for me, though. Like, now knowing how few items really end up being worth a ton, right? Like, you nowadays, you go on the internet, you know pretty quickly that's going to be worth something or not. If it's not worth anything, okay, I kind of get it more now opening the box. But seeing, like, the stuff that I used to collect and how much it's worth now and how much it would be worth in the...
Yeah.
Maybe that's what triggers that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but...
It's like a trauma response kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, exactly.
it is.
exactly.
I like the bobbleheads. Did you guys get into the bobbleheads at all?
We had kind of a funny run on our show where he would pick up the silliest bobbleheads to give me, and
I'm a big. I like to go to the junk stores.
Yeah.
Goodwills, thrift stores.
Yeah, sure.
There's so many oddball bobbleheads out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Every time I would run across one, it was almost kind of a running joke for us for a while. I'd keep it until our Tuesday live show, and I'd present it to him on the show. And you got some bizarre ones.
yeah, he's got me a weird wolf head one, an old lady. He gave me this old lady one that was part of some school, and
People actually knew who she was.
somebody knew it was, and I'm like, it was pretty crazy.
Oh,
I guess
my.
she's kind of famous at this college. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Crazy.
I don't collect them, but I have a large collection of them
Yeah.
thanks to Kyle.
You're
so,
welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
And that's one thing I noticed about your show is the backdrop, right? That's pretty important to you guys, what's back there and what's being
Yeah.
displayed back there. We talked about these two. What about you, Doug? What are you into as far as the nostalgia stuff goes?
Nostalgia stuff, probably, honestly, for me, video games. Like going back to growing up playing video games, Nintendo, Atari, 64, Dreamcast, having all of those video consoles growing up, getting to play those retro games now, like emulated
Yeah.
on my computer that I've built, that I finally have had the money and time being older,
Right.
not having the kids at home or anything like that. Being able to build my own computer, having my own setup, just being able to sit there and relax, play those retro games and be like, man, I remember this game was so much fun. And now I'm like, I really suck at this game. Like, well, how is this harder than the brand new Call of Duty I just bought?
Yeah.
Or,
I can tell you
something of
how.
that nature.
I can tell you why. Because you're playing it on a newer system. If you went back to the Sega and used the old controllers,
This is
I don't know
true.
about that.
Probably. Maybe.
about
Maybe
that.
not. That's the nostalgia for me. Like, it really is. I mean, I grew up, just like everybody else around in the area, not having a whole bunch of money. We grew up in the bowling alley, bowling all the time. So bowling's one of my passions. I follow a lot of PBA, WPBA, any of those, tournaments. I try to watch as much as I can on YouTube, especially a lot of ball reviews, because I've gotten really in the last few years into the whole technology around bowling balls and the cover stocks, the cores and the motions, the drilling and all that stuff. So it's just me. I'm just a nerd in a package.
So you're deep into it then.
Oh,
the
I
whole
love it.
technology of the
I
ball.
do. Oh, man, it's
the
so
Matrix
good.
has him, man.
The Matrix does have me. Mo Pinnell, and Lou Cardinale.
Is that the St. Louis guy, St. Charles guy?
Yes.
I'm totally lost over here.
I am not you. What's he say? What's the famous thing? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do. I have not heard that in a long time. Like he has coming back popularity wise with him. Them two did a lot of. They created their own company together, Radical Bowling Company. So they did all kinds of YouTube videos, podcasts, things like that. And I don't know if he's ever even said that on that show. Like what they coming back, but I do remember it. Oh yeah.
Hey, side note, we should get him. We should interview him.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Fantastic.
Let's
I
do
would
that.
love to do that.
I can sit in the background and clap because I'll be out of this.
I got to bring that up though. I am.
Yeah.
His
sound
home,
like-
I think his home lanes is like on First Capitol in St. Charles. I went to Lindenwood up there in St. Charles, so we'd go and we'd bowl on a Tuesday night and all, endless pictures or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
But I think they have some kind of sign up there or something.
Yeah. It's been, we didn't get to travel a whole lot bowling. My dad and them, when they were, bowling men's league and stuff, they went to a few tournaments here and there. But, growing up, being younger and that, like we get to travel with the high school team and go different places, go to state, this and that. So it was kind of neat. But I remember that my dad and them all went to St. Louis, and I'm pretty sure it was Pete Webb that was there.
That's who I'm talking about, right?
Okay. Pete, well, yeah, he's from St. Louis. Weber Lanes, of course. I can't remember what it was called. St. Louis. I don't remember. But anyways, yeah, St. Louis.
Yeah, sorry, I threw you off.
No. They went up there, and it was kind of cool because when they came back, like, my aunt had a bowling shoe that she had that he autographed. My dad had a towel. They took a bowling pin from a local bowling alley, over in Potosi, took it up there, and he signed it. And
They stole the pin. So there's
No more strikes. No more strikes on that lane.
no
Man.
more strike. There's
9.
There's 9 pins instead of 10 in the deck now. So they're missing that one. But it's all that nostalgia. So getting to see some of those older guys even bowling, and even the women bowlers like that. Like I love watching that type of stuff. For me. And, golf, growing up playing golf and watching everything that's happening with PGA and Live has been so interesting. And, I can't wait to see what's going to happen forward with that. And I'm going to try to do some stuff with the die cut page and cover more of those areas that branch out and get some more people in there.
Didn't we used to have the National Bowling Hall of Fame
Yes.
right across from Busch Stadium, right?
Yes, they did.
Where'd that
They
go?
do.
And why'd we have it? Is bowling, and I'm being serious, I don't know much about bowling. Is St. Louis
Yes. So back in the 80s and so, like, St. Louis was St. Louis and Kansas City, Jeff City was huge in the bowling circuit. So they would always travel a lot of times from the East Coast to the West Coast, come through, hit Kansas City, Jeff City, St. Louis, and move over to Chicago and those areas and bowl. Like that was the track that they went a lot of their tournaments with. So, yeah, it was really big, St. Louis and bowling back then. I don't know if they've moved that out of St. Louis or not.
I feel like we have the chess one now, right? Isn't there a chess thing?
Yes, they do. They got the big old chess pieces out in the middle of the sidewalk.
This random Hall
It
of
is.
Fames.
I had no idea. This is all news to me.
Yeah.
I think I have a picture in front of that place. I've never been in it. There's a big chess piece. I want to get a picture with it.
I can't see you playing chess.
He's like, I've never played a game in my life.
I played Chinese checkers as a
Chinese checkers, Chinese. But yeah, bowling's fun. I love it. I bowl with my dad and my brother and a couple of our family friends, local team over in Potosi. So that's just me in a nutshell.
Awesome, man. You mentioned the golf thing. Can we get into it a little bit?
Yeah.
Rom goes to Live.
Oh, man.
Huge contract. They haven't
my
released
gosh.
the numbers,
No, they
but
haven't.
but I'm sure it's massive.
Oh, I guarantee you it's going to be at least $300 million. I almost
That's a
guarantee
chunk of
it.
change right there.
Well, I mean, they offered Tiger like $300 million to start with, and then they kept upping it, and he said no.
Yeah.
I mean, so going after somebody like John Rahm, who was he finished third? I think third or fourth.
But being a golf guy, he can be the best player. It's sort of him, Scotty, Victor.
That whole thing with PGA and Live. We're talking about Live and the players that they did. Like you said, they just got John Rahm. They've announced some of the players that have actually made the move to Live from PGA, but there's still some that they have not said. So I'm looking for that list to see who's going to be jumping the boat for that money, that fame.
Do you think it's any more top 10 guys?
I bet
Give it
you
time.
they probably will gobble up at least 3 more.
Wow. That's huge.
It is huge. And there's a whole ethical question there that maybe we'll save for another day. But just on the product itself, I mentioned to you off air, I've been to a live event. Did you say you've been to one?
No, I want to go to one, but man, anybody that I've ever talked to, even talking to you and, people that's just been there, cover it and get on social media and talk about it. Like, it's just a huge party. It's so much more laid back. The atmosphere is just so much more booming, which, generates the younger crowds. And that's one of the big pushes with golf is they're trying to get the younger generations involved in playing golf, bowling, the same type of stuff. Talking about live, they're playing all over the world. PGA sticks mainly to the U.S. They go overseas a couple times, but live plays everywhere.
Yeah. Dude, it was fun.
I can
like I said,
only
the whole
imagine that.
ethical thing, we'll put that aside for another
most
time.
definitely.
Just on the product alone, it was, and I've been to several. I've been to a couple majors. I've been to several golf tournaments. I got my flags up there.
Yeah, I was admiring those when I walked in. I was like, oh, man.
It felt like, and I met John Daly. There's a signed autograph, John Daly flag up there. It felt like if John Daly created
Oh, you know it. You know it.
created a,
I
new league, it would be a lot of that.
I mean, I love the videos, whatever, John Daly, I follow him on social media, YouTube a lot and watch the things. And he's always like the very first tee talking to the pro there, the house pro. And he's like drinking a beer, smoking a stogie. And he's like, I only need to know 2 things. Where's the first tee and what's the course record? I love it because, he's one of those guys that can back up every bit of it.
Yeah. Yeah, Tiger famously said he's probably one of the best golfers or the most untapped talent ever.
Yes.
Just natural talent ever.
Oh, yeah.
Because he doesn't put in the work, obviously,
Oh, no, he never practiced. He never he would show up 5 minutes before his tee time, still drunk from the night before. 5 minutes before tee time. Not even hit a ball and just walk up there, put a tee down, put a ball on it, and hit it 300 yards down the middle.
One of the coolest guys in sports ever.
Oh, my gosh. I would love to be able to sit down and talk with that man.
Did get to meet him, and he was everything you think he was. Like so this was a couple years ago at the Ascension Charity Classic up in St. Louis, Norwood's Golf Club.
Yes.
And on the north side. And me and my buddy want to meet John Daly. Like, that's pretty much why we're there. And we're waiting. We know his tee time, because they list them.
Yeah.
His tee time's at 10 o'clock or whatever. And it's 9:50. And we're like, well, he's got to at least warm up at the driving range. Nope. So we're at the putting green. He's not there. Go to the driving range. Not there.
Nope.
9:58.
Did you guys check the bar?
He flies in. Yeah.
Yep.
He flies in on a golf cart, about runs some people over. Smoking. He had McDonald's and a Dr. Pepper. Like, everything that you think John Daly is,
Nice.
that motherfucker is. He's really living.
He's living up
Oh,
to
man.
it.
I mean, they made fun of him because one of the tournaments that he hosted, he had a bill from Taco Bell. It was like $17,000.
Is that a rolling bill?
I don't know, but it legitimately was his bill. He held it up in his hand.
Oh my God.
It was like $17,000 or $16,000 from Taco Bell. I'm like, how in the world?
Have you not seen their menu lately?
Well,
This is true. Everything is going up, but it's like,
that was
oh
3
my
burritos
gosh.
and a frosty or whatever.
That chalupa on the back end.
Should be some churros.
This is the barn. Join here with the die cut dudes, literally the dudes. What's up, fellas? Thanks for being here today.
Oh yeah.
Didn't tell you I have this. I got a little something special for you guys. Knew you guys were coming in today.
Oh, awesome.
This is the nostalgia test.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Well, that's exciting. All right.
Karate Kid or Back to the Future?
Back to the Future all day long.
I'm gonna go Karate Kid.
Oh, I got to go with Marty McFly.
Yeah,
Marty
there we go.
McFly.
Not even, no doubt.
This one pains me. Can I go?
Absolutely. Yeah.
This one pains me because I love Karate Kid so much.
Yes.
But Back to the Future, I think as a whole, was just much better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I've tried the Cobra Kai thing. I didn't get back into it, with the Netflix thing. To me, it's like, Back to the Future 1 and 2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I got to go Back to the Future on that, but I love, especially the first Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely huge fan of Karate Kid, but like you said, as a whole, Back to the Future all day long.
Man.
Okay. Alf or Golden Girls?
Oh my!
I'm going with Alpha in this.
Alf's so cool.
I got something to admit. I've never seen a Golden Girls episode.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh!
I think my mom used to
How
watch
could
it as a
you
kid.
be truly a '90s kid and not watch?
When I was a
a
kid, it was on
single
TV. My
episode?
mom watched it. I had no interest in watching these old broads on TV.
They're funny though.
Dude,
man.
they're
I know they are.
hilarious.
As a kid, couldn't stand it, and at about 21, I was on a Golden Girls kick, man.
So funny.
I watched the whole series, man. I loved it.
Oh my, that's so funny. Alf, for me personally, like Alf was just great entertainment growing up. Golden Girls definitely would be right there with it, just because I watched it all the time with my grandma. Like she loved the Golden Girls, and I would walk over there and she'd be watching them all the time.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say definitely Alf. One of the greatest tragedies of my childhood is I got sick and threw up all over my Alf doll, and my mom had to throw it away.
The plushie, right?
Yes.
We all had one of those.
Yes,
yeah.
and broke my heart, man. It was traumatizing.
Okay, so if you're not Golden Girls, what about Alf or Roseanne?
I know that answer.
Cody knows this one. I am a Roseanne fanatic.
Oh
It's
yeah,
his all-time favorite show.
It's a great show.
I can.
it is.
I can sit there and watch marathon after marathon, episode after episode. I can almost quote every episode of Roseanne.
That's
and
awesome.
that is not a lie.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
true.
You and my sister would get along, I think.
I love Roseanne. Is her name Roseanne?
No.
Yeah, Roseanne.
Oh yeah, definitely Roseanne.
Everybody loves Aunt Jackie.
Oh, Aunt Jackie was the greatest.
I think with, Alf was kind of special to me too. I think I had one of those plushies that you're talking about, but that's when I was maybe younger. Like Roseanne, when you got sort of could appreciate it a little bit more with the writing and the storytelling and stuff. Okay, I think I might know the answer in this one. 90s Chicago Bulls.
Oh.
Is there even other? Should I even say the other one?
I mean,
There's only one rival. There's the 90s Bulls.
Yeah.
Well, I went baseball. 90s Atlanta Braves.
Oh my.
Like a Dave Justice.
for me, it's Bulls all day long because I'm also a Cardinals fan. So
Yeah.
I mean, the Braves were amazing, but Bulls all day long. You put the Bulls against the only team that is coming close for me to vote against them is the Dream Team.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
only
Oh,
other
yeah.
team.
Who would you pick between those two teams?
Dream Team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
Too much talent there. My God.
Oh my.
Even with the declining Magic and Bird as their last season,
Oh yeah.
the team just
Still would have dominated anything out there. Period.
Oh, yeah.
magical.
Yeah.
Bulls across the board.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Most
Me
definitely.
too, man. 90s Bulls. Hardly anything better.
Oh yeah.
We talked about this one a little bit, but Ultimate Warrior or Roddy Piper?
Ooh, so I'll let you boys go first.
Oh man.
I mean, I quoted it early, but are you
Yeah,
going to
you
bark all
did.
day or are you going to bite?
gonna bite.
Roddy Piper all day long, man.
I'm gonna have to agree with Roddy Piper. I mean, I loved Ultimate Warrior. I did, but Roddy to me was just that better at
Oh, on the mic.
the presence,
On
the
the
mic, the stories that he would tell with it.
Just when you think you got all the answers, I change the questions, baby.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm going to have to go Piper.
Yeah.
If you asked me when I was a kid, I would have said Warrior.
100%.
I would have said Piper when I was a kid. I would have said, no way.
Well, the most exciting, 1 minute ever,
Electrifying,
is definitely a Warrior. But
Yeah. Well, speaking of Warrior, like I've always heard the story of it. Like he was so gassed by the time he got into the ring because he used all of his energy just to run out there to the ring. Like, well, no wonder we had to talk for 5 minutes so he could catch his breath and get his stamina back.
Most of his matches were less than 5 minutes.
This is true.
He would run from the entranceway to the ring,
Sprint.
around the ring twice, sometimes 3 times, jump in the ring, bounce off the rope side to side 10 times. Yeah. And then he'd go in there for
do
3
a
minutes.
little shoulder press drop and call it a day. Yeah.
Wasn't the thing about him that they said he wasn't technically a good wrestler? Like,
Not at all.
didn't guys not like to wrestle with him because he couldn't play the game?
He was all pretty muscles. He was there because of his look.
Yeah.
He had a great gimmick with his bright colors and face paint and tassels. That's why the kids loved him back then.
Well, yeah.
But now as an adults and we kind of go back and look and you watch anything and you're like, this guy stunk.
He was garbage.
It's not on my list, but it makes me think: The Rock or Stone Cold?
Oh, hell yeah.
I've gone Stone Cold all the way with that one.
I've been a long time Rocky Maivia, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, whatever you want to call him, the people's champion. That was my man. That was my guy growing up. As a kid, it was Hulk Hogan. But then as I got a teenager and 90s hit and Rocky showed up, I was all in with The Rock. People hated The Rock. I love The Rock. Even before he got popular. I can remember when I was a kid, we used to go to the hotel before the wrestling shows and get autographs.
Oh, awesome.
I get pictures with the guys. And Cody made a trip with me one time.
Several times.
And I can remember one certain time when we met The Rock, he was signing my autograph and some kid ran up. It was when he was still a bad guy. Everybody hated him. This kid goes, "You suck, Rocky, you suck." And I looked down and I go, "Rocky don't suck, you suck." And Rock
Ultimate
laughed.
comeback, especially in the 90s.
Right. Rock laughed and grinned. And Cody reminds me of that story every so often.
Okay, we ready to move on?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. The Simpsons or South Park?
Oh,
Simpsons.
wow.
As much as I loved South Park growing up, watching with my brother, Simpsons all the day long. Like me and the wife sit down at dinner and we'll try to find something to watch, and she'll be like, just put Simpsons on. We'll rewatch the whole seasons. Like we've went through them twice, I think, already.
Oh, nice. To be truthful, I've never been a huge fan of either one. Not to say I don't like them, but it was never something like I'm putting one of these on. So probably South Park because of the age I was when it hit. It was more impactful. So probably South Park.
I like them almost both equal up to a certain part.
Okay.
I like The Simpsons up to about season 8.
Yeah.
And after that, I kind of wander off. I'm not such a fan.
Yeah.
About the same with South Park. You get to about the 8, 9, 10 season, it gets too much for me.
Yeah.
I like the old school versions of them.
The golden moment on The Simpsons for me, not to take up too much time here, but Homer and Mr. Burns, I think, are trapped in a cabin or something like that together. And essentially, Mr. Burns gives him some sort of advice that's amazing, like, could be life-changing. Maybe it's money or something. And Homer's like, well, let's reciprocate. Let's say the remote's on the other end of the table over there. And he just starts like bouncing or hopping or kicking the floor or something to get the remote to bounce all the way over to where he's at. I'm like, this moment encapsulates everything for me.
Classic Homer.
Yeah.
I'm a big Simpsons guy. I have some Simpsons stuff up in here, and I just think Homer's one of the greatest characters maybe ever.
Oh, yeah.
Just the writing on that, like in the prime years, like you're talking about, like season 3 through 8, or just some of the best, funniest shit ever.
Oh, yeah.
Big Simpsons guy, and that was hard for me to pick because I was thinking maybe King of the Hill or Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, if you threw Beavis and Butthead in there, that would have been really tough for me.
Yeah, that's my jam right there.
Sitting over here by the Beavis and Butthead sticker I was admiring earlier.
Yeah, love Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, so good.
Martin or Fresh Prince?
Fresh Prince right here.
Oh, yeah. Fresh Prince.
I'm odd man out. I'm a big Martin Lawrence fan.
You're not the odd man out. I'm with you.
Nice,
Martin.
awesome.
Martin was so funny.
Can you guys...
I think head-to-head, Martin Lawrence outplays Will Smith all day long.
Yeah, sure.
When it comes to comedy, all day long. Oh,
I bet all three of us, or all four of us sitting here could re-sing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song.
Sure.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
my gosh.
Everybody.
Fresh Prince was bigger, more people knew Fresh Prince, but I like Martin. The writing on Martin, and Martin just himself being so funny.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Shanae.
Sinead.
Yeah,
Oh, my
Shanae,
gosh.
Yeah. Okay, Rocky or Rambo?
I already know. I'm a straight up Rocky fan.
Man.
Yeah. All right.
Cody has got me into Rocky movies many years ago. And I'm a huge Hulk Hogan fan.
Okay.
And part 3, Rocky 3 is my least favorite of them.
Yeah, I think probably.
Yeah.
probably
1, 2, and
everybody's.
4. 1, 2, and 4 are my favorites.
Rocky 3 makes no sense. He
And it
barely,
does.
he barely gets
Stretching.
by 1 and 2, and now
Yeah.
I know Mick was protecting him or whatever, but no,
They were
Rocky-
stretching on
yeah,
3.
that
They were
made
trying
no
to
sense.
bring in some other people.
bring in Mr.
Mr.
T.
T.
Well, yeah, they
Hogan.
were. Well, they were running out of things to do and ideas with it. Because, how far can you take him boxing certain people, especially during that time? Like, you just run out of people so fast with it until you can bring in Mr. T or somebody like that that agrees to do it.
My whole nitpick with part 3 is he's lost that heart and passion
Right.
of the film.
Right.
You get to 3, he's rich, he's
Well,
famous.
that's how he gets the
He's
eye
got
of
a
the tiger
robot
back,
made.
bro.
He's got a robot made, for God's sake.
He has to get the
That's
eye of the
right.
tiger,
I mean,
man.
But I
1 and
think-
2, he's the underdog.
I think that's what makes 4 so special because he goes back to the
Yes,
old
back to the
training.
old, yeah.
When he's the training scene, like I could, enjoy myself to the training montage.
Montage, man. The
He's
montage.
splitting wood and
Yeah,
throwing
he is.
logs on his back, you know, and in the snow and stuff. 4 is actually my favorite.
Okay.
4 and then 1 and then 2 probably.
Yeah.
And then I liked Davidson. What's it, Tommy the Gun?
Tommy the Gun, yeah.
And I enjoyed some of the Creeds as well. What did you guys think?
Yes.
I love the Creed movies, and I 4 it's 1 and 4 for me, and then but see when I'm comparing the two, I'm comparing the first Rocky 1 versus Rambo 1, and even though Rocky 1's the better script, the better the more acclaimed. Fantastic movies. Man. You go
Rambo
back
First Blood.
Oh, so
Oh,
good.
Blood. Oh my gosh.
I got chills just now.
Oh yeah, so good, man.
I saw you guys talk about this on your show with the Die Hard Christmas thing.
Yes, yes.
Rambo.
Yeah.
There's some Christmas.
There's some trees
in the background
There
of
is.
Rambo.
It is a Christmas movie.
This is a passion of mine.
This Die Hard thing.
Yes.
Don't let him tell you.
No.
that it's not a
Let's hear.
Christmas
Let's convince us.
Die Hard is not.
Okay.
One more time. Is not a Christmas movie. Along with this Rambo theory of there's Christmas trees in the background. You can have a toilet in the background and be like, this isn't a crappy movie. This is,
So did you see me judoing people on our page? Somebody was like, "Well, Die Hard was released in July," so I'm like, I just start laying the smack down.
Yeah.
Miracle on 34th Street,
Yep.
released in August. And of course, now I'm going to blank. But there's like 3 big Christmas movies that were not released at Christmas time.
Really?
what about
Yeah.
Ernest
Yeah.
Saves Christmas? Was that,
It's a Christmas
Definitely
movie.
Christmas
I don't know. But yeah, we have this battle every Christmas, and
I
obviously Kyle is wrong.
And I just like stirring the pot, but I do agree that it is a Christmas movie.
Well,
I mean,
of course.
every bit about that movie is Christmas themed.
Christmas party.
Yeah, I mean,
So Richard, people like to show the video of Bruce Willis saying it's not a Christmas movie,
I mean, that should be your bread and butter right there.
but here
not.
counter
The
argument.
man himself.
The director, whose vision it is for the movie, has come out and said it is a Christmas movie, and it was shot purposely in the style of a Christmas movie.
yes.
I rest my case.
And
Like
I
the
will
guy's
add,
Christmas movie.
I will
really
add
is.
that Disney listed it as a Christmas movie.
What? Really?
And Disney
Wow.
owns everything.
Disney's got a lot of his own issues right now, so I don't even want to argue with that fact.
Let's do a couple more here. Nintendo or Sega?
Oh my!
I'm going to go straight up NES.
Yeah, Nintendo.
I'm gonna have to say Sega.
Whoa.
I really am. Some of the best games I ever played was on Sega. I mean, it really was. When Sonic the Hedgehog came out, oh my gosh.
My first system was a Sega. I mean, originally that's all I played.
Donkey Kong,
Top Gun on
Top
Sega.
Gun. I mean, there were so
Afterburner.
many. And then talking about Sega, they added on the 32X, and then the Sega CD. Like they tried to revolutionize what gaming was going to be about, and it got to that point. Like RBI Baseball, King Griffey Jr. Baseball,
That started out on NES.
but it was the best that was on Sega.
So I'm definitely Nintendo, but I do love Sega.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love Nintendo, Sega definitely.
You got Paperboy. You can be Rad Racer.
Excite Bike.
Racer, Excite Bike.
That game is awful.
So many good.
I tried to go back and play that last year. And I'm hitting the button, I'm doing the little ramp, and I'm like,
But again, was it on the original system?
Hey,
Because that's going to make the difference.
Mine was on the Switch.
true story. All right, I don't want to get violent here, but I almost got stabbed over Excite Bike. My little
my.
I let my cousin borrow that game, and his little brother was so in love with it that when I tried to get it back, he pulled out a knife and chased me around the
Oh,
kitchen.
dude,
Oh my!
they get serious about it.
It was serious, man.
Wow.
It was serious. Yeah,
That's crazy.
I'll never forget being chased around the kitchen table with
First
it.
time I've heard this story.
Yeah,
Oh,
why?
yeah, dude, that's hilarious.
I don't like to share it. I'm traumatized.
I think I gotta go Nintendo. Like you saying, the Paperboy. I'd play Paperboy all day
Yeah.
long.
So good.
I mean,
Mario, all the
Nintendo is-
Marios.
oh yeah, and I'm not saying Nintendo's not bad at all. Trust me, like it is a very, very hard decision. But when I got to the age where I was playing games a lot more, it was during the Sega. So I have more games that I remember playing and having a lot more fun with it than I did Nintendo.
That's what the nostalgia is all about, man.
See, as a kid, we owned like 3 games, and we just every Friday or Saturday we'd go to Blockbuster. That's how you'd be able to play these games.
Yep.
I didn't know no Paperboy or like Side Bike.
Yeah.
I had Mario and Duck Hunt.
Yeah,
Yes.
Duck Hunt too.
I think I had Dig Dug.
Dig Dug. Love
one of
Dig
my
Dug.
favorites.
Contra,
Oh,
Contra.
Yes.
such good
Up,
stuff.
Tyson's
down,
Punch
down,
Out.
left, right,
Dude.
switch.
Yes.
forget your Sega. Tyson's Punch Out,
go.
Contra,
Winner.
Oh, I know.
all the
I know.
Marios.
I know.
Yeah, you just lost real bad, man. I'm sorry.
You like Sonic better than Mario?
He's more of a Knuckles kind of fan. Look at him.
I am. I love
on
Knuckles.
now.
Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't put Sonic above Mario if you're talking individual like
backtracking.
brand games. Like, yes, Mario is like going to be the ultimate game ever. Period.
You got him
I'm
backstepping now. I like this.
Do you have a beep,
But-
beep, beep sound effect over there?
But
I usually do. I don't know.
But when you talk about games, you've got your Mario, you've got your Contra, but Mario is specific to Nintendo. Contra went through so many more different consoles that you could play it on.
It's
Hey,
a
listen,
hard
just-
sell here.
Hard sell,
man, you guys
Deaf
are just
ears.
not
Hey,
cool.
take your lumps and walk on,
Got
man.
him backpedaling big time.
We'll go one more here. This one's a little bit later in the 90s. Tupac or Biggie?
Oh,
Bubba, when you
Tupac.
call me Big Pop.
big Tupac fan. I would mow my grass as a teenager with my Walkman on my side. Listen to All Eyes on Me album.
California love, man.
It was two
Love.
tapes, two cassette tapes back then. So I'd have one in my back pocket as I'm mowing,
Ready to go.
ready to pop, ready to switch them out.
Yeah, I mean, Tupac. I only like really one Biggie song. You know, I only know one Biggie song.
Which one?
The Big Papa one. You know,
How's it go?
I love when you call me Big Papa.
Yeah, I need that sound clip.
Well, and it's the thing. Like,
got you.
if you've watched the whole story behind them two, and Tupac and them, like Tupac definitely was the better
shot.
artist. Like, he definitely had the better shot.
No, he got shot.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, but Tupac definitely was, to me, the better artist than what Biggie was. He kind of was a one-hit wonder, where Tupac was revolutionizing what hip-hop and rap was.
Yeah, the sort of the argument is better lyricist and better conceptual. You know, was a deeper thinker maybe than with Big Papa. It was about money and girls and, and having a good time. But they say lyrically, or I guess flow, Biggie had a better flow and rhythm to his
He did.
rapping. I'm gonna go Tupac just because maybe his influence, and kind of rap at the time was all about guns and hoes, and it seemed like Tupac was, and he did a little of that too. Don't get me wrong, but it was a little bit deeper thinking.
It was.
Brenda's got a baby and things like that. The people weren't talking about that stuff then.
Yeah.
No, they weren't.
And he's in movies.
He was in
Well, this
movies.
is true. He's in
Good.
movies.
Poetic Justice.
Poetic Justice.
Yeah.
Above the Rim.
Above the rim.
Above the
He's a
rim.
love above the rim just because of basketball.
Just
Poetic
back-
Justice, man. He
yeah.
always kept that razor blade in his mouth, man. I always thought that was, drove me nuts.
Juice.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of fun here with the Die Cut Dudes. Give out all your information, where people can find you, everything that they need to know.
So you find us mainly on Facebook. We're live every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central. We're growing our YouTube, our TikTok, and we're even on Twitch, but we don't put much into Twitch. And
Give it a like anyway.
yeah, give it a like. And Die Cut Dudes at all our socials, man.
So something special for the listeners of this episode, if they follow the Die Cut Dudes and the Barn Facebook page, we got some Funko Pops that we're going to be giving away. Follow the Die Cut Dudes on Facebook, follow the Barn, listen to this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Loved having you guys in the studio. Cody, Doug, and Kyle. Die Cut Dudes on Facebook every Tuesday at what time?
6 p.m. Central.
6 p.m. Go check those guys out. Really had fun having you guys in here.
Dude,
It's been a blast.
Man. Yeah,
Thanks,
we
man.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
That's awesome.